Let me share a story that helped me understand how the world works. Once upon a time in a powerful kingdom, there lived three kinds of people. There were the builders, very few in number, almighty in vision. They designed the landscape, the maps, and they drafted the laws. Their names were etched in history. Then there were the bearers. They were a whole lot. They carried stones, they worked on the farmlands, they filled the markets with life and energy. Their names were rarely remembered, but without them, nothing stood. And finally, there were the bystanders, a multitude beyond counting. They watched, they cheered, they gossiped, they accepted whatever the builders decreed, and whatever the bearers sustained or enforced. Now, the kingdom thrived on this imbalance. The builders needed the bearers to execute their grand design. The bearers needed the bystanders to consume their goods. The bystanders just needed someone to follow. They needed the tales of the builders to give them something to dream or to gossip about. It was a very delicate architecture of disproportion. It didn't seem fair, but it was stable. The more that I thought about it and envisioned it in my mind, the more that this architecture was pointing towards a pyramid. Again, a few led, many labored, and the multitudes observed. And that's when I started to accept an uncomfortable truth. The world as we know it was not designed to be balanced. It was designed to be stable. And stability often demands that imbalance must be preserved. Think about it. The powerful must exist and the weak must exist. The weak must outnumber the powerful. That's how hierarchies hold. The wise must exist and the foolish must exist. The foolish must outnumber the wise. That's how ideas circulate. The rich exist, the poor exist. The poor must outnumber the rich. That's how economies breathe. It feels like humanity long ago signed a contract with imbalance. To keep order, there must be more who follow than those who lead, more who consume than those who create, more who exist by default than those who exist by design or intentionality. Even my Jesus saw the human condition and said, the poor you will always have amongst you. Now, it doesn't mean that the poor deserve poverty or that the foolish deserve ignorance. It simply means our system as it stands needs disproportion to function. These are the dictates of the social contract theory, and until humanity upgrades its systems, this pattern will persist. I just wish that more people become more aware of the side of the divide that they're on, so that they can at least take their destinies into their own hands and begin to intentionally orchestrate their transition into a more favorable side of the divide. I see how the world works. I see the imbalance that maintains order. I also believe that with requisite knowledge, more people can cross the line from poor to rich, from passive to powerful, from clueless to wise. Thank God Jesus said, the poor you will always have, not you must always have. This means this imbalance is not divine design. It is a human problem. And maybe with awareness and intentionality, we can slowly start to rewrite that contract. Please share this video.